Hi, my name is Cami, and this is Classics and Cats. Okay, so for today's video, we're going to talk about the books that I read in January. So for January, I read a total of 5 books. Technically, 1 novel and 4 short stories. So it was a good reading month for me. I'm happy with it. I enjoyed what I read. I learned a lot, and I just want to share those books with you in case they're ones that you might be interested in reading as well. Okay, so the first book I read was Freckles by Stratton Porter. And if you don't know much about Stratton Porter, she was an author from Indiana in the early 1900s. And she lived in an area in northern Indiana that was known as the Limberlost. It was a swampland forest area. And I spent a lot of time as a kid on weekends in the summer in that area, so these books are extra special to me. I've been to Stratton Porter's home there on Sylvan Lake in Indiana. If you ever get a chance to go, please go and visit it. It's beautiful. There's a garden there. She was very much into nature and the natural habitat for animals, butterflies, birds. She loved birds. She has books on nature, wildlife, but her novels especially capture my imagination, and those are the ones that I love to read. So I read Freckles, and Freckles is a story of a boy who is orphaned and is missing his hand. And when he ages out of the orphanage, he goes in search of work. So remember, this is the early 1900s, so, he's grown up in an orphanage in Chicago, and now he's trying to make his way in the world. So he finds himself in the Limberlost area looking for a job, and he ends up finding a job as a guard in the Limberlost. He kind of has to convince the man that he's capable. He's a young man. He has one missing hand, and they don't think he can do the job, but he convinces them that he is the guy for the job, and they give it to him. And so it's about his experience in the Limberlost. He grew up in the city, so he's fascinated by the wildlife around him and wants to learn all that he can about it. So it's about him falling in love with nature and learning about it, and then the people he meets along the way. So the man that hired him becomes like a father figure and learns to love Freckles and really takes him on as a son. And then he also meets the bird woman, who is a nature lover, loves birds, obviously, and she teaches him some things about the wildlife that he has witnessed and watched while he's guarding this Limberlost area. And then there's this girl that he meets that he calls the Swamp Angel, who's a beautiful girl that also loves the Limberlost. And it's about the relationship between all of them and how he comes to feel about himself and his worth. And he also has to deal with people that are trying to come into the Limberlost to steal the lumber from this lumber company that he works for, which is what he's guarding from. He's trying to protect the Limberlost from thieves coming in to steal the valuable trees. So it's a really sweet story. I would put it in line with like Pollyanna, The Secret Garden, that type of story. It's very sweet. The characters are very lovable. They represent the best of us, loyalty, honor, honesty, true love. It's all those things. So if you love those stories, you will love Freckles by Stratton Porter. Give it a chance if you haven't already. And so that was my only novel for January, but I'm glad I read it. I've been meaning to for years. And her only other novel that I've read was Laddie, and I read that probably as a teenager, so it's been a long time since I've read a Stratton Porter. And I also have one on my TBR for 2021. I would like to read A Girl of the Limberlost, so that is my goal for this year. But I already read Freckles, loved it. Give it a chance if you haven't already. The next story that I read was a short story. It was called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty by James Thurber, and I actually listened to it narrated on YouTube by someone who calls their channel The Page Turner, and it was narrated so well. He did a lot of like action voices and distinguished the character voices between each other. He did an excellent job. I wish he had more on his page because I loved listening to him narrate the story. So if you get a chance, I'll link his reading down below so that you can listen to it if you're interested. But The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, if you're not aware, is a story of a man who kind of escapes the humdrum of life by venturing into adventures in his imagination. So while he's, doing mundane tasks, he visualized himself as a fighter pilot and all these different things. And it was very interesting to hear it narrated. So I definitely recommend that if you give it a chance. I really loved it. I connected with Walter Mitty. I feel the same way. I feel like I live 1,000 lives every day in my imagination. I will just go off on a tangent and in my mind and just think, ooh, what if this? And then I'll just like spin off into a completely different narrative to my life. And, I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. I love it. So if you feel the same way, if you're a daydreamer, you will totally understand Walter Mitty's infatuation and, trying to live these other lives in his real life. And he has a wife who does not seem to have any imagination at all, so that makes things difficult for poor Walter, but give it a chance. It's really cute, and I'll link the page turner down below, so if you want to hear it while you read, then you can do both as well. I know a lot of people enjoy that, so yeah, give it a chance. It's really good. Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I'm sorry I'm not showing you these books. Freckles I loaned to my mom so that she could read, and she's finished it, but I forgot to pick it up, so I don't have that copy with me. And then, like I mentioned, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty I listened to, so I don't have any of these books handy to show you, but I will try to learn how to put a little picture somewhere, so it'll improve my video skills. It'll give me a chance to work on that. I do have a copy of my next book, but I forgot to grab it. So since I'm putting up pictures for the rest of them, I might as well do it for this one too. So the next short story I read is The Gashlycrumb Tinies by Edward Gorey. And he also did the illustrations, which are amazing. They're like pen and ink, I think is what they call it. I'm sorry. It's like the black and white sketches, but they're adorable. I love it. So The Gashlycrumb Tinies is a morbid little rhyming book, like A is for Amy, who fell down the stairs. B is for Benny, who was eaten by bears. It's kind of that, grotesque story, but I mean, it's funny. It's cute. I really loved it. So definitely give that a chance. It's, it's a quick read. It's like a picture book for kids, a little rhyming book, A through Z. It's a quick read. Totally worth it. I absolutely love it. Give it a shot. All right, the next short story I read / actually listened to was The Magic Shop by H.G. Wells. I love H.G. Wells. I read The Time Machine, and it's one of my favorite books. It's very good. I hate to say that I didn't love this short story, The Magic Shop. It was fine. It was okay. I just feel like it didn't go very far. You know what I mean? It didn't really dive into much. It kind of started off with a cool concept, and it's like, ooh, where's this going? This man and his son venture into this magic shop, and the man that's running it is, kind of creepy and different, and they see things that are actual magic. It's not like a trick or an illusion. It's actual things coming to life, and the father's unnerved by it, the son is fascinated by it, and it just, and it's like, ooh, where's this going? And I just feel like it kind of fell flat at the end. I hate to say that because I love H.G. Wells, but this one for me just didn't do it. It was okay. I mean, it's, it took like 15 minutes. I actually listened to it on YouTube. I don't remember who narrated it, but I will link it down below. I'll go back through my history and figure out who I listened to it by, but and the narration was good. It wasn't that. It was definitely, the story just didn't spark anything for me. Like I said, it was okay. So, give it a shot. It's 15 minutes of your life. Maybe you'll love it. Who knows? And my last short story that I read in January was The Masque of the Red Death by Edgar Allan Poe. This was amazing. It was my first time reading it, and I read it out loud actually, and which I don't usually do. It wasn't very long. It was maybe 30 or 40 pages. I can't remember. It was pretty short. I read it on my Kindle, but it was amazing. The atmosphere he created was so good. And there was just like the imagery that you got, like with his descriptions, it really put me in the time and place. It was in this castle during a plague, which when we're going through a pandemic is kind of, I don't know if I want to say that it's fun to read about. That makes it sound wrong, but it makes it feel very relevant, and it makes you like feel like, yeah, I know what they're going through. I don't, but you know, this is a plague where people are, you know, dying on the streets, and this prince is living in his castle, and he's throwing this, you know, exorbitant masquerade ball with all of his rich and fancy friends so that they can avoid, you know, all the gross stuff going on with this in the streets with the peasants dying and things. So, you know, it's the worst of humanity, I guess. And you just see it, and it's just very creepy. It's very eerie. The atmosphere, like I said, is amazing. Definitely give this one a chance. You know, it'd be a great one to read like in the fall or Halloween time. You know, when the air has that crispness to it, and you know, the moon is full, and it would be really great to read during that time. But also, I think you can read it anytime right now because we're going through a pandemic. So I think you can put yourself in this place pretty simply. So yes, Masque of the Red Death by Edgar Allan Poe, my last short story of January, and it was superb. Give it a chance. So yeah, that said, those are my 5 stories that I read in January. 1 novel, 4 short stories. Loved them. They were fantastic. So I will keep track of my February reads and bring those to you as well as soon as February is over, which it's about halfway through right now. I'm a little late with my January reads, but wanted to get this out there. So yeah, without further ado, I will see you all in the next video. Thanks. Bye. And I actually listened to it narrated on YouTube by someone who calls their page the Page Turner. Their channel calls their channel the Page Turner. And I'll link the Page Turner down below, so if you want to hear it while you listen or while you read. So the next short story I read is The Gashlycrumb Tinies by Edward Gorey. Okay, don't go just yet. Don't go just yet. I brought Mason. I should probably put him back down for his nap. Yeah. But he just wanted to say a quick hello. So say hello and goodbye.